Hello all. Starting something is hard. I think finishing something is harder. It takes something called perseverance. If you're not sure what that is, watch this clip. Nothing sums up perseverance quite like a squirrel after some nuts.
What's great about placing this here is it levels the playing field, as the birds can fly up and get as much food as they want anytime they need it. The squirrels, however, will have to work for it, because the only way to make it to this platform is if they work their way through my 8-part Ninja Warrior obstacle course, which all starts right here. This is the only platform on the course that has a pole that isn't covered in slippery stuff, which means this is where they have to climb up to enter the course. If they try and get up any other way, they can't keep a good grip, and they just slide back down. So the first challenge is the Bridge of Instability. Now this may look easy, but the trick is it attaches at a single point on each end. And from a physics standpoint, that makes it no different than trying to crawl across a tightrope. It's the same deceptive principle with that one carnival game that's so impossible. I broke it down in another video where I used physics to show which carnival games were basically scams and the science on how to beat them. Next up, the Maze of 1,000 Corridors. This one's a bit more cerebral, but if they make it through that, it will bring them to the pitchfork tumblers, which are inspired by the show Wipeout. But unlike Wipeout, I should point out that all these contraptions are squirrel friendly, and even with a little back force, they will break away and stop spinning. Now, if they can make it past the pitchfork tumblers of treachery, they come to one of my personal favorites, the Homewrecker. I put her in to tempt the squirrel to lose focus on the real prize at the end of the course. Because this pad has a pressure sensor underneath it, and it connects to a microcontroller that has a relay that connects to a solenoid that connects to a pneumatic piston that connects back to this platform with the pressure sensor. And so if they stand here for more than 3 seconds, they've got to start the course all over again. Next up is the Slinky Bridge of Deception. I've suspended a juicy walnut right in the middle, but there's no way this bridge will support their weight, so it'll be interesting to see how they approach it. The 6th challenge is called the Tourist Trap. It's actually a bit of a reward for making it this far. If the squirrel sticks their head through this board my wife painted, it's just a photo op they can hang on the wall of their tiny squirrel nest. I'll place a walnut here as an incentive for them not to miss this unique opportunity. The penultimate challenge are the quad steps of great elevation. This is taken straight from Ninja Warrior, and this is super tricky because these pads are all totally smooth and placed at a 45-degree incline. And now for the last challenge. At this point, they are a mere few feet away from their ultimate goal, but if they're not careful, they'll have to deal with the Orbital Assist platform, aka the final countdown, aka it's not a catapult, it's a squirrelapult. Which means they now have to go back and start all the way over from the beginning. Now, if they want to avoid that fate, they just need to stand on this pad for less than 3 seconds. But once again, I've placed a diversion here. This one projects an optical illusion of anything you place in the bottom of this dish. It's actually super trippy and looks even more impressive in real life because the projected image is 3D. They're like $9 on Amazon, and I put a link that explains the juicy physics of how they work in the video description. Now, with regards to Squirrel Safety, I know I seem to have this reputation of improvised high-speed projectiles, and so this one might worry a few animal lovers out there, including my wife. We have 5 pets and 1 child, and the child was the only one I had a say in. So rest assured, I can adjust the pressure on the piston, and we'll be staying way below any launch force that could hurt any of our adorable backyard contestants. And so finally, after making it through all that, we're back here at the world's most satisfying bird feeder. And as far as I'm concerned, if they make it here, they've earned the right to gorge next to the birds for as long as they want. And so after nearly a month of prep work, the course was officially open for business. They could smell the walnuts at the final station, and you could see the gears turning because right above that was their favorite bird feeder. And so before long, we had our first contender. Didn't exactly go as planned.
That's Mark Rober. I recommend you go and look at his videos on YouTube. He does all sorts of fun things like that. But what he shows us there, or shall I say what the squirrels show us there, is when you really desire something, when you really got your mind set on something, if you persevere, there's very little that can get in your way of you achieving that thing. For those who belong to Jesus, for Christians, we are called to persevere in our faith. Like anything that is worth having, it doesn't always come easy. It takes one day after another, putting one foot in front of the other. There are things in life that can make following Jesus tricky, but we're told that the character of somebody who follows Jesus is the character of someone who perseveres, who keeps going forward, who keeps striving forward, because we know that no matter what this world holds for us, no matter how easy or no matter how hard this life is, whether we sail through easily or whether we are persecuted or we suffer in other ways, we run the race because the prize is worth every step, every stride, every minute, every hour of pushing forward. Jesus talks elsewhere about a man who builds a tower, and it's foolish for that person to start without seeing whether he can finish first. And so I wonder how you persevere in your faith. Have you considered what it means to be a lifelong follower of Jesus? Well, you might be wondering what happened to those squirrels. Did they manage to do the course? Well, let's have a look.
Smart Rick was the first one to enter the course, so in the end, after about a week of effort, it was fitting he was the one to make it to the jackpot first. And he's so stoked, he apparently wants to run the whole course in reverse. In hindsight, we probably should have made the jackpot a little quieter. Here's Marty, as always, not far behind. He's also a bit flighty, as you know, which worked against him here because down below Fantastic Gus, ever the opportunist, comes through with a real stroke of brilliance. But pretty soon Marty comes back like, I'm the one who kinda earned that. And then Fantastic Gus is like, you snooze, you lose, sucker! And might I just say, Fantastic Gus, when you sit like that, you don't look an ounce over 700 grams. Eventually they learned that sound was a good thing, and they'd quickly return for their reward before Fantastic Gus got any ideas.
Hebrews 10 verse 36 tells us, you need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. Or, as Curtis Mayfield put it,
and we just keep on keeping on. We just keep on keeping on. Many think that we're floating, but they too will soon admit that there's still a lot of love among us, and there's still a lot of faith, warmth, and trust when we keep